Actually, I get into a lot of trouble because I've commented over the decades, and I'm saying over the last 20 years, I've just noticed that the young ladies that I've had working for me as lab techs and that there, or students, seem to always work twice as hard as the guys. And everyone says that I'm being sexist and all that stuff, but it is definitely true that in 20 years of working, of being around Malaysians, the women do work much harder than the men. And the guys that listen to this recording are going to probably just go, that sexist, rotten, no good person. But I even see it with my niece and her husband. She goes to work all day, comes home, takes care of the kids, has a day off. She uses it to go do things for the family. The husband gets 2 or 3 days off from work. He grabs a fishing pole and is out the door. He's gone for 3 days to stop him, where the wife spends 3 days taking the kids someplace and be with the kids. So, all right, I had an interesting afternoon dealing with this software, and I will talk about that briefly. There's our one gentleman here. I'm sitting here trashing all the men that don't show up to class. You showed up here out there, so welcome. That there. So, I brought this software up here, right here. This tank right there. This is the one I said I was going to base the assignment on, right there. And I made a mistake when I wrote up the initial assignment, so I have to do some rewriting. This low level does not reflect a low level. It means that the tank is empty, right there. So I was thinking that it gave me 2 level ratings, the medium level, which was like half full, and then a higher level that was full. I'm not sure what this lower level sensor is good for, but kind of when I run this thing here, and let me just kind of bring this over here. And again, unfortunately, our resolution is I can't have it there. All right, I've got this little timer right here that I put in, and let me talk about this timer in a minute. Oh, the guys are here, man. I just sit there just talking about how lazy you guys are, and you don't show up to class, and that there. Yeah, let's be honest, you guys were at prayers, and you had to stop and eat afterwards, right? That there. Actually, I just grabbed something very fast to get back. Okay, this timer right here, and there's a number of timers on this here, because if I bring up my simulation, the I/O right there, you will see. Let's just minimize that right there. Oh, come on. Why are you not being nice to me? It won't let me. Right there. It really doesn't show me the timers, how many I've got, but I've got at least 4 or 5. I think there's 8 timers in this, most likely 16 right there. So let me go back to my simulations, bring up the one that we're working with. That's the batch simulator right there. Okay, what I've got here basically is that I've got we'll talk about, I'm looking at the second rung right now. The second rung is here. As we look at this assignment, the start button is right here, and they don't tell you what the inputs are. You have to hold the mouse over it, and the start button is on 1/00. So this is put in as I:1/0. That's the start button. Over here, I've got the pump right here, and this is pump 1:02 or O:2/01 right there. So that's the pump right there. This one here is the high level, and that's I:1/4. So this is going to fill up to the high level and shut off right there. So now we'll ignore what's happening with the top level here, but so if I run this right here, I hit the run button, I hit the start button, you notice that it starts filling up. Now notice the low level is always on. It starts off on, and it stays on. Now I have no way of draining the pump, by the way. I didn't put the drain in right yet. So, matter of fact, I'm going to right there. I'm going to switch it to B to drain it right there, just so. Let's go ahead and put the drain in, and we're just going to drain it right there. So let's go ahead and put the that there. So let's flip this around, and let's just put in an input here, B, right here. And this input right here is going to be B, which is I109. I:109. That's switching this to B. And our pump here is 0203. Right there. So this is a relatively O:203 right there. So now I can just drain the pump, drain it. So now I'm going to just go ahead and download it and run it. And it is now draining the pump. Oh, that there. Actually, that must be a a negative there. So I turn it to B to turn the drain pump off right there. So let's go ahead and drain the pump. Now, when it gets all the way drained, notice the little sensor goes low. And again, I need to turn the pump off right there. So again, so the low level is actually used to determine whether or not it's empty. So in order to drain the pump right there, and now typically I'm using the switch here. Your assignment requires that you drain it automatically after the 3 minutes right there. So, but I'm just showing you how you have to drain this pump right there. So I need to put in here, when it's drained, this low level goes low. So I need to also put in here, and we may find ourselves right there. Same level. We need to put in one of these, and this is our low level sensor, I:1/03 right there. Now, actually, I think that needs to be, and you'll have to experiment with this here, like that there. Let's go ahead and download it and see what happens here. Right there. So, right now, right there. So let's go ahead and fill the pump back up. Right there. And she won't fill up for some reason. Oh, I am not in the run mode. Right there. So let's go ahead and fill it up. Oh, I need to put this back on B to shut that off. Right there. So it's filling up. Right there, and that there. So that I flip this over to A. It drains, and then once it gets completely empty, this goes blue, and now my pump shuts off. So that's how we shut off the pump when it's empty. That there. So to fill it up, I'm using the high level right here, right there. Now, the other thing that's happening here is I've also got this is actually testing. The output of this is O2. This is actually on the mixer. Right there is where that's at. Right there. So again, this one here, if I run this again, and it's already running, and I hit the enter button right here. Oh, it's on in run mode. Yeah, I got it downloaded. Right there. And I put it in run mode. And I push the start button again. You'll notice here that I've got this flow meter is going until it's full. And then over here on my timer, right there, it's still filling. And my timer actually is already expired. Oh, I forgot to turn off the drain motor. So as soon as it starts filling up, right there. So your program, you know, I'm not writing your program for you. I'm just showing you all the pieces you need to do your code right there. So right there. So ignoring the fill tank right here, if I hit the start button right there, you'll notice that I've got this timer right here, right there, and this is going to the motor right here. Now I'm starting it with a start button. You have to start it with whenever the thing is full, right there. So, and now it's stopped. So when this thing is full, this is when we start the drain for this right here, right there. So again, what we're doing here is we're going to place this instead of here in order to start the draining is once it's set. Now the timers right here, to put a timer in, right here, I'm in program mode. To put a timer in, right there, you hit the timer button, and I use the timer on delay right there. You can use that there. Now, this particular, why I fought with this here, normally you have two outputs. One is when it's done counting, and the other one is while it's counting down, right there. Well, the done counter on this one here, I can't tie anything to it, right there. So, that there. So what I have to do is I have to bring this over here, and whenever this is done counting, this is timer 2, this will open this switch. Because as this mixer is running, we want to run the mixer right there. Now, you have to figure out what inputs you need to get this work. But when I start this, what you're going to see, and this is a time base, so this is going to go for 10 seconds, right there, right there. I can do it for 5 seconds, say for example. Now, I think in the assignment I said 3 minutes. In reality, don't do 3 minutes. 3 minutes is forever sitting there watching this thing go, these mixers spin. Now, 5 seconds is long enough to see it work right there. So when I run this, but I'm going to do it for much longer just to show that what's going on here. So when I start this thing right here, download it and hit the run button right there. When I hit the run button, hit the start button right here. First off, let's drain this thing here. Right there. And what did I say? So we go ahead and drain it. Right there, so it's drained. Right there. Right there, so it's drained. And then I hit the start button. Now when I hit the start button, what happens is this thing will fill up until this high sensor goes high. And this thing is going to continue to run as long as this timer is counting up right there. So once this counter is done counting up, this done will go high for just a second, which will then open this switch, which then opens the circuit right there. So once this goes to 500, you'll see this one flash high. And as I said, 500 is 5 seconds. 3 minutes would be forever. And you'll notice that this now opens up. It was almost too fast to see. Remember, I didn't see it. But this opened up for a second right there. And when it opened up, it reset the timer right there. Right there. So this is how you count down how long you want that to run. Now you would normally start this right here. I've got this starting. I got both these starting. In reality, what I want to do is I want to start this with the same time that this finishes it right there. Right there. So we But you could do it this way, and the reason you could do it this way is that this thing is smart enough to know. Let me go ahead and drain it and talk about it again here. Right there. Right there. So once I start this motor mixer will start mixing as soon as there's liquid up to that level right there. And then it will keep mixing until it's mixed right there. Now, you can do this that there. Now, I've only got one pump going, filling this up. Now, you can turn both pumps on, or you can turn that there. I think the assignment I originally had, you were going to fill it up to one level and then fill it up to the next level. Well, unfortunately, this doesn't have two level sensors. What I thought this was going to give me was something that looked like this right here, where I had two levels. That's what I thought I had, but I don't have that there. You know, this is the experiment that I was shooting for, right there. And the main thing about this particular one is it's got one level here, that there, so I can fill it in with liquid A, turn off liquid A, fill it up with liquid B till I got to X2, run my motor right there, and after so long a time, drain the system right there. So that there, and I'd have three buttons right here: start, stop, and emergency. You know, which I don't know what that one's for there, but right there. So again, I have not finished writing this assignment up. I'll go through what I've got written. And the reason I hadn't finished writing is because I didn't discover till about, really just before Friday prayers, about 12:30, I discovered that these level sensors didn't do what I thought they were going to do, and I had to rewrite this. So I hurried for prayers, came back, and started experimenting, and found out that it did, that I needed to change it. So this has not been posted yet, or I hope I didn't post this yet. I didn't post this on Facebook yet, have I? The assignment? Right there. Okay, this is the way the assignment's going to work, and you'll see it later this evening. I'm going to go home and finish it up, that there. But you're to develop a fill tank to the high level using pumps 1 and 2. Originally, that was said, design a tank to fill the tank to the low level using pump 1, turn off pump 1, fill it up to the high level using pump 2. Well, now I'm saying just use both, turn on both pumps and fill it up to that, you know, to pump that there. And you start it with the start bar right there. Once the tank has been filled with both fillets, turn on the mixture for 3 minutes. Again, I say 3 minutes. That there, in reality, do about 5 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to be there for a long time recording it. Once it's been mixed, turn off that there and drain it using pump 3. You know, once it's drained, you turn off pump 3 and you leave it sit. You're done right there until you go and you hit the start button again right there. So again, pump 3, I showed how to access pump 3 using that lever. You have to figure out in the logic how you're going to follow through once it's mixed. Again, the key there is to, as we look at this right here, is that once this low sensor is sensed, or this timer is turned on right there, and I could do that fairly quickly here, actually. Let me show you how you would do that right there. Right here. When we look at pump 3 right here, what I can do is take this switch out. Let me take it out of stop. Right here. Take this switch out. Put in another switch like this right here. Right there. Put in another rung. Right here. Put in another right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same output right here. Right there. I'm only going to, in this particular case, I'm going to use timer 4:1/done, right there. And then I'm going to use the pump O:2/3. Now that should work, because what will happen is when this hits the done, this will start this pump right there. This will latch that and keep the pump going. As soon as it gets to the low level and the tank is empty, this will turn off the pump. So right there, let's go ahead and run this. Download it and run it. Now I may have to hit the start button. All right, now it's counting down. Its pump is running, and you can see it counting. Now, when you want to look at time base, this is 0.01 seconds per count. So 500 means it's a tenth of a second. So that means 5 seconds roughly, right? Actually, no. You divide by 10, so it's 50 seconds. So actually, if I want 5 seconds, I would only have 50 right there. But once I get to 500, you divide by 10, you'll notice that the motor will shut off right there. And the motor shuts off. Now that automatically started the draining as soon as the motor shut off. And once it's empty, that's there. I hit the start button again. It fills up. Now, the only thing I've got undone for you actually is that you've got to wait till it fills up to start the motor. Now it's going to run, and I'm going to stop it right here. Let's change this to 50. Right there. And hit the run button. Right there. And it will run for about 5 seconds. It drains. And it's ready to go right there. So I haven't finished writing this up, but this is close to what you're going to want to be submitting right there. So let me go back to the assignment that there. But this is the instructions on how you do it right there. I showed you how to fill the pump up. I showed you how to do the timer right there, and I've showed you how to drain the pumps, drain the fluid right there. I have not shown you how to use the emergency stop button or anything like that. That there, which is not part of the assignment. It might be part of the final exam. So keep that in mind. That it might be part of the final exam, but I'll talk about that once you finish that. The goal today is just simply to get the assignment out. I almost, I was going to cancel the class knowing it was a holiday weekend, but since I had to get this assignment out, because I was going to cancel and give it on Tuesday, but since Tuesday we're not meeting, I had no choice. Okay, the assignment. Getting back to the assignment right here. Right there. So this part is not finished. The assignment will be posted later up today on Facebook and the e-learning. If not, tomorrow morning at the latest, right there. So I will get the assignment up. That there. You should have been able to download the software right there. So okay. That there. So you've got 4 parts of the assignment. One is you're supposed to develop a table of your inputs and your outputs right there. So, I've already told you what inputs and outputs you're going to use, and you have to go and figure out where they're at on that there. So, you need the low level, the high level, you need the pumps 1, 2, and 3, you need the start button. I think that's about it right there. But you need to have a table right there, and you need to know what, start button, it's on I:1/what. So it's a little Excel type table right there is what you would have right there. Number 2 is write down the order in which things are supposed to happen so that you're clear on. You're clear. I've kind of gone through the demo and kind of wrote it up, but in your own words, you should just write a little list. First, fill up the tank using this. Second, do this right there. I put it in storybook form. You have to kind of make it clear. And then your third thing is you develop the ladder diagram right there, and you can do that in steps right there. And then 4, you verify the project. Now this is the part that everyone asks questions. You need to turn in a formal lab report right there. In other words, you write it up, submit it soft copy only via the VLE. Now in your lab report, you'll have the standard introduction, procedure, and conclusion. Your IO table from step 1, the algorithm from step 2, a copy of the ladder diagram, which, remember, this software allows you to just take a picture of the ladder diagram right there, and then a short little video. Now, who needs to turn in what? Each person needs to submit a lab report. Each person needs to write a separate lab report, no group lab report. They have to be individual lab reports this time, right there. Now, the data, which includes the IO table, the algorithm, the ladder diagram, and the video, can be the same for everybody in the group, right there. In other words, you 3 get together and you do a group, you 4 get together, you do a group, you guys form a couple groups back there. I mean, I'm going to see several groups with the same exact data, same exact, the ladder diagram is made out there. I may see 3, 4, 4 of the same out there. I think I limited to a group of 3 right there. But I will see, say 3 different reports with the exact same video right there. So, but the lab report is to be done as an individual out there. Now, that doesn't mean that you write your lab report, she copies and changes a few words out there. It means you write a lab report, she writes a lab report out there. So, and then each lab report is to be submitted only soft copy for the VLE system right there. I know some of you have submitted the last one very, very late in hard copy, complaining that the VLE system shut you off after it was already 2-3 weeks late. That there, I shut off the VLE system. I think I actually put a shut-off date on this one. That there, I will put in a shut-off date. After that, you get a 0 for the lab report. That there. So there will be a due date. I haven't decided on the due date. I'm almost shooting for next Friday, but I'll probably give you the following Tuesday, right there. So, in other words, a week from this next Tuesday is when this will be due. That there. That's getting pretty near the end of the session, really. Right there. So I have to see how many other grades I got to get into the system right there. So this is the next assignment. That's all I have for you tonight is what the next assignment is up there. And I gave you a lot of the stuff to do it. With what I did just now, as far as what I've got here, I personally could probably finish this in about 30 minutes out there. I think most of you might take a couple hours to finish up through there and get everything working smoothly. Because, again, when I run the start there, when I hit the start button right here, it fills up, but my tank starts running, my motor starts running right away. I need to delay the start of the motor. I need to turn on both pumps at the same time, but that's easy enough to do. You just duplicate the line right there. This needs to come out of this line here, actually. Right there. Right there. I don't know what I did right here. I must have hit the sensor that there that changed its value. Or no. I think it was draining. Right there. It's trying to fill up and drain at the same time. Right there. I don't know what's going on here. I've broken. Right there. I think it timed out on me, actually. You know what's happening? Is my 50 seconds isn't long enough. Actually, this needs to come off of this right here. And once this hits full, then you start the timer. Right there. So, that part you need to figure out right there. Because right now I've got this timer set on this right here, right there. Because if I hit this, if I hit the fill button right here, it'll hit 50 before it's full, right there. Oh, and this thing starts draining before that there. So again, the problem is, the reason it's not working so well is, let's do this 150. See, that's filling, and it's doing its thing. And then once it gets to 150, this will then start the drain pump right there. You see, now it's operating properly to a degree. It's not quite, but you need to pull this out of this loop here and just turn on the pump. And then once the pump is full, then you start the once the tank is full, then you start the timer right there. So you've got some work to do. It's not, I gave you all the pieces. You have to figure out how to put them together right there. So it's not, I would not say this is the most difficult problem you're going to see, but I didn't give you the answer this time. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up. I'll talk a half an hour. That's a fairly short class right there. And some of you guys were only here for the last 10 minutes of it, so right there. So, but I'll get this posted. Look for the corrected lab assignment, because it's probably pretty close to where it's going to be. I just want to read it through again and post it right there.